And welcome. This is Tampa Home Talk. Welcome back to another exciting edition here, 2026 version of our Gasparilla themed show. And I'm so excited to bring you our guest today. She's no stranger to Tampa Home Talk. She is back in the studio with me. We have rolled to our pre-recorded format, as most of you know, so we don't have to worry about the live radio. But Shelly Hellman, welcome back.
I'm glad to be back.
I'm so glad you're here. We are together on Krewes Saviors,
Yep.
and we've hosted a lot of different crews over the years. And Sea Saviors has been in the studio with us, as has Brigadoon. We'll talk about all of that a little bit later in the show. But before we kick off, if you're new to Tampa or you're new to Gasparilla or you have no idea what I'm talking about, we get that a lot. Gasparilla is over 100 years old.
Yeah.
It is a very big staple within the Tampa community, and it first came about in 1904. And this whole Pirate Festival parade, it started out as a local spectacle, but it's really become the biggest pirate festival in the entire world. Gasparilla is the third largest parade in the entire country, right behind the Macy's Day Parade being number one. Of course, Mardi Gras in New Orleans, everyone's heard of that. And Tampa's number 3 with the pirate shenanigans. And the cool thing about Gasparilla is it's not just a day. Gasparilla literally is a season that runs from January through March. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show and what that means. But most people just don't realize this. And so the whole thing started, like I said, in 1904, over 100 years ago. And I think it was in 1911, they decided that they were going to start having the pirates invade via ship, the Jose Gasparilla pirate type ship. And that's how the whole thing came about. We'll talk about that a little bit, but it was the famous Jose Gaspar, which we've changed into Gasparilla, invaded and sailed into the Hillsborough Bay. And essentially, they demand the keys to the city from the current mayor.
Yep.
Thank goodness they cooperate every year. In this political environment, I'm waiting for that not to be the case one year. But beads are a big thing. Obviously, there's a bunch of beads that happen within the Gasparilla parade. And we're going to talk more about like what it is, because there's so many different crews, there's so many different themes, and there's a lot of different events around Gasparilla. Have a list of that. And so, Shelly, I'd love to just kind of roll to you. And like you, I started in a different crew.
Right.
And my husband worked for the city of Tampa for years. So he worked every Gasparilla. He was actually in charge of the people that run the street sweepers and clean all that up after the city.
That's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. They do the parade setup. They work with TPD to, figure out all the logistical plan. There's a lot that goes into that with the city of Tampa. And he would go and he would work for over 24 hours. I'd never see him again. So and there, 2 of the team leaders, there was 4 of them. 2 of the 4 were also in Krewes. One of them still is in Krewes Shamrock. And so they were, pirating for the Gasparilla crew. So essentially the other 2 team leaders, my husband and the other guy, George, they worked. And so it's grown. It's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every year. I think I shared with you when I was a kid and we were talking before the show, there used to be one Gasparilla parade.
Yeah.
And now there's like all these Gasparilla things. They decided we're going to separate the kids parade from the regular main Gasparilla parade. That was probably a good decision at some point.
Definitely.
And when you mentioned earlier, you said your friend told you.
When she was a little girl, they would shoot their guns and then throw the casings, shell casings to the kids. She still has some of those shell casings.
I might too. And I was telling you that's true. They definitely, they had the shell casings. That was very, very normal in Gasparilla. And the kids loved it. That was always like a really fun part of Gasparilla. And then also the coins was a very big thing. I don't see them do that as much anymore.
No, not most everybody wants the beads now.
Yeah.
And, sometimes at the end of the parade, you'll see people on the side and you're wondering how they're even standing up with all the beads they have around their necks.
Yes. Yeah, it's so fun. Like when you think about Gasparilla, I feel like it is Tampa.
Yeah.
The city comes alive.
I know. And I mean, it's not even just the parades because we have the arts festival.
Yes.
And there's a music festival.
Yes.
And just so many things. And everyone just lives and breathes pirates.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have that list, I think, here while we're on topic. We'll just chat about it. But some of the major Gasparilla events in order, obviously the Gasparilla Pirate Festival. That's a big thing. It's the iconic main event, the invasion with the ship, right? Thousands of pirates, floats, beads, what most people think of when they hear Gasparilla. And then the children's parade follows that. It's a calmer version of the main Gasparilla parade. It's supposed to be anyway. The Gasparilla Distant Classics, that is the run.
Yeah.
And they have a 5K, an 8K, a 15K, and a half marathon.
Yeah.
So that's changed too. When they added that, it used to be 5K, and now it's like all these events and marathons. The Gasparilla Festival of the Arts. Have you been to that?
I have.
So tell me about that, because I have not, and I love art. I would love to hear that.
They usually have that downtown around the park, Curtis Hickson, and they have a juried art show in it, plus lots of crafts and activities that go on. Usually have music in the park. It'll take you all day to look at everything.
So it's coming up. We'll have to feature them on the show so we can get more information about it too. But it's really cool. Yeah. The Gasparilla Music Festival. This is a multi-day live event music. It's got a mix of national acts and some local artists. It's very heavy nonprofit focused, and it supports local music education. That's great. I love to see that. Also separate the parade from part of the season. There's the Gasparilla food and cultural events. And then obviously crew-hosted events, which is all year round. That never stops.
Yeah. There's a lot of crews that have special, like for St. Patrick's Day, one of the crews does a big St. Patrick's Day breakfast that you can go to. I mean, there's just so many choices.
So let's talk about some of the cool, like behind the scenes that most people don't know. We'll just kind of chat about that. Usually one crew is in charge of that particular parade, right? So like You Missed It Crew of Gasparilla always does the main Gasparilla one.
And children's.
And the children's.
Yeah.
And is it Santiago that does the night parade?
Santiago does our night parade, not NIGHT. KNIGH. Mm-hmm. They are the Knights of Santiago, and it's their parade. Everyone thinks of it as, because it's in the evening.
Yes.
That can be a little confusing.
It's a dual purpose.
But, and then the Rough Riders usually do the St. Patrick's Day parade.
Yeah. So that's their big thing. A lot of them fundraise around it, as you mentioned. So the cool part, if you've ever been to Gasparilla, or maybe you haven't, or maybe you saw it on TV, or you saw some news clips, it's fun. Like, it's a whole thing. They shut down the streets. Yeah. There's a lot of preparation and planning that goes into that. I mean, you probably spent days sewing costumes.
Yeah, there's, I would say there's a little bit of competition between people on a crew on what their costume is going to be and how they're going to look. The particular crew we're in is a steampunk crew, and normally we just wear our steampunk, but we have in the past done a Disney theme where we did Disney characters, but a steampunk version of those Disney characters.
That was popular. Everyone was talking about that. I wasn't on Sea Saviors at that time, but everybody was talking about how amazing Sea Saviors looked for that Disney theme.
And one year we did the Minions. That was, we had our captain be Gru, the main guy in the Minions, and all the rest of us were all in yellow Minions following him. It was amazing. We have some fantastic photos from that.
That's awesome. So you see these different floats, right, that are in the Gasparilla Parade. And what you may or may not realize is each one of these separate floats, it all represents a separate nonprofit, 501c3.
Right.
And so each one of those, we support different organizations. Most crews I know support multiple. Usually it's 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 different charitable organizations that we, as a nonprofit, will fundraise and do different events and things around to support those charities.
Yeah, there are a few crews that have more of a focus on one type of charity. Peg Legs, for instance, really works with children who have artificial limbs and helping them. They do other things as well. Right. There's one of the crews that collects shoes for children. Um, we, I like the crew I'm in now, and the crew I was in before were both crews that each month was a different charity. And our crew members, if you had something near and dear to your heart, you could suggest it, and that we would collect for that crew, that charity for that month, which
Yeah.
was always fun.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Shelly, because that's another thing I want to touch on. Every single crew is different.
Yes.
So a lot of crews, I would say most of them operate with a board of directors,
Yes.
where you have a president and a vice president and a secretary and all the people that make the things a
Yeah.
crew what it is. Our crew is not that way.
No.
So we have the captain, Billy Blacktoes. He's been on Tampa Home Talk. I'll share a fun story with that in a minute. And then the lovely Admiral, his wife.
Yes.
And some people would call that a dictatorship, but I feel like it's fun and it's easy and it's a lot of work to be the captain.
There's a lot of people that do work and do help with the crew.
Absolutely.
And have different jobs. But it all comes down to Bill and Jen's final decisions, which really, I've been on both. In fact, the previous crew I was on the board of that. And there were about 12 of us on the board. But you find that it's hard sometimes to just somebody to come down and make that final decision on what needs to be done.
It just seems easier.
It is much easier, and I like it a lot. I personally like it a lot better, even though I do help with things.
Yes.
But that's okay. I don't mind helping with a little bit. It's great not to have the responsibility. It's way more fun.
And it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean,
It
I
is.
wouldn't want the responsibility that Bill and Jen have, and it is a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of planning and preparation just with the setup.
Oh,
for
yeah.
Gasparilla, it's a lot.
I mean, we have every parade. We have the night before the parade. We have a group that has volunteered. Everybody has to volunteer to do this. But we have a pre-set up. You have to load up the float with all the beads. And our float has drinks on board as far as your sodas. You have to have ice and cups and everything that goes with that you have to think about. And just making sure we have porta potties on our floats, which a lot of the floats do. That's another yucky job, but it's something you have to think about.
Someone has to empty that.
And most of the floats do have some sort of thing on their float so that, because sometimes it takes a long time. If you're at the back end of the parade, we've been at the back end of the parades before. It has taken almost an hour just to get to the start of the parade.
Yeah. And then there's staging, right, where everyone's hanging out before the parade. A lot of us know people in other crews, so we're mingling and walking down the street and connecting with the other crews and just sort of having fun with them and catching up with some of those people.
It's fun to see all the other crew people and share things with them. A lot of the crews have a specific pin, and a lot of people will trade pins. Yeah. So that's another fun thing to do.
Do you participate in the pin trading?
I
always
do.
Make such cool stuff. I figured you
I do. I make pins for myself, and then I also will trade the official crew pin.
Which, by the way, I should have brought some of those in, but you probably have a badass pin on that you made.
Yep.
So that's one of the ones you made?
Actually, this is the official crew pin, and this is one I made.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's so great. It always has like the steampunk flair. We'll have Rob zoom in there and show you what that looks like, or, add that later. So the crew membership, this is what a lot of people don't know. It's, yes, you see it. Yes, there's a lot of planning and preparation. Yes, there's a lot of fun. You guys get there in a lot shorter window before the parade starts. We're there hours and hours and hours and hours before, and then you're typically still hanging around hours after. It is a lot of fun. It is a long day, but it is a lot of fun.
It is.
The crew membership, it's a year-round thing. So there's a lot of things that go into it in terms of we have monthly meetings we have to come to. We have fundraisers, the charities we support, the planning for all the things that go into this and the things we raise money for.
Yeah. I mean, our crew has a monthly social, and that is to raise money. It's not just a social. But it is a fun get together, and we do share a lot with one another and get to know each other better that way. It's not like we're just seeing people at a parade.
Yes.
So we get to know one another.
And I think a lot of people think that, or did, at some point they would think, oh yeah, you guys just get together once a year for this parade, but that's not it.
Yeah.
And I would love to talk about this because I know you were on a different crew before Sea Saviors, as was I. How long were you on Charlotte to Barrie, and what was your experience like on that crew compared to Sea Saviors, and what made you come over? And then I'll answer the same question.
Well, I was on Charlotte to Barrie for 10 years, actually.
A long time.
And it was a long time. That was an all-female crew, and my husband finally decided that he wanted to be on a crew too. So he joined the crew of Sea Saviors first, and then I switched over the following year, so we could do things together. We were doing it separately, which was great at first, but it's just got simpler and less hectic to only have one crew event to attend.
Because one could be at the front, one could be at the back, and then here you're trying to connect after. That would be interesting.
Yeah. So it was just easier just to be on the one crew. So, which I'm glad we did. And I really enjoy the crew a lot. We do a lot of activities.
How long have you been on COS, which is Crew of Sea Saviors? How long have you been here?
Let's see. Well, I think I've been on COS for 5 years now.
Okay. Because this is my first official year. I've been hanging around with you guys for a long time.
Yeah.
But officially, Crew of Sea Saviors and Brigadoon, which, by the way, I would not recommend to anyone. You cannot dual duty cruise. You just can't. I thought I was going to be able to do it, and you just can't.
It's a lot. The commitment is there. A lot of the crews have rules. You can't be in more than one crew.
I know. I think I got a little bit of an exception, but it's because I was trying to make a change. I had a lot of life events, obviously with my husband passing and stuff. And so for me, I just was looking to make a change. And probably like you said you guested with them in a key.
We did. We had Crew of Sea Saviors has a smaller little float that they would take down and do a parade in the Keys every year. And we would go down and guest with them when they did that. And that was a lot of fun. They were very welcoming, of course. Yeah. Which is why my husband wanted to join them, I guess.
Yeah. And, we, like Angie, she's on our crew. I've known her for 30 years, as I mentioned. So a couple of times we were accidentally same time, same place, because we do a cruise every year. And it was around the same time of my wedding anniversary. So my husband and I ended up, hanging with you guys long before we were in crew life. And it was just a lot of fun. Like the people were really welcoming. Yeah. And then last year when we were on Brigadoon, Hayden and I, which is my crew husband, everybody knows him as my crew husband, we ended up coming along with you guys with Sea Saviors. Yeah. And we just had so much fun. Yeah. And everybody was super welcoming.
I really have found that. The 1 year we spent on 2 different crews, I would go to the meetings with Gary, and every meeting it was, Shelley, when are you coming? When are you coming? Yeah. So it was very welcoming. And there's just so much to do and things. And
I brought Danielle, my friend with me. This is the first cruise she's ever been on, first year in crew life. And she's super quiet, super anxious. She doesn't.
We'll change that.
Yeah, sure. Some of you guys, you may know her because she's one of the official show partners for Tampa Home Talk with Gateway Appraisals. But we brought her out of her shell a little bit, and she's been having a lot of fun. Yeah. And when at the beginning during the gala, which is a big fundraiser for us, I said, "Hey, can you guys wrap your arms around Danielle and kind of welcome her in? We're going to be on a ship in the middle of the Pacific Ocean," and you guys did, and she just literally settled right in.
Yeah, I think I can think of several people that as they joined the crew, they were a little shy is not quite the right word, but apprehensive about all the activities. And now you would never know that because they're so comfortable and feeling so much love from everyone in the crew.
So let's talk about the pirate personas. People get these pirate names, right? Yes. And so Captain Billy Blacktoes. Yeah. I heard and you can tell me if I'm not right, but I heard he got Captain Billy Blacktoes because he would always stub his toes on stuff. So he painted his toenails black.
That's true.
All the time. And so
That's
he
the
became
same thing I
Captain
heard.
Billy. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So I had that right. Captain
Yes.
Billy Blacktoes. Got it like
Yeah.
that. Do you have a pirate name, Shelley?
I
You didn't get one yet?
don't really have a pirate name,
Okay.
actually. I did when I was on Charlotte de Berry.
Okay.
And that was Miranda. And that came about because in Charlotte de Berry has mermaids as a kind of a mascot thing.
Mhm.
And there's well, I think it's a really cool little movie. And there were actually two back in the 40s where Miranda was a mermaid in the movie. And Glynis Johns, who played the mom in Mary Poppins, starred in it. But she was only like 20 in that. It was a really old movie. But anyway, I picked that as my pirate name then. And there are still people in the pirate world now that if they see me with my big red wig on, they all go, "Oh, Miranda, you're here."
It's funny. Some of these pirate names are people, they choose them for themselves.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they're earned, right? Or you get them in some way or another.
Yes. Yeah.
Who can you think of on our crew that's a good example? Think about their pirate name and how they got it. Maybe someone that didn't give it to themselves, but someone else gave it to them.
Actually, my husband has several, but none of them are suitable for public. For some reason, he keeps getting these weird little names.
That's funny. That's so funny.
Yeah, there are quite a few that, we have one lady on the crew who happens to like martinis, and her name is Jeannie. So she got one martini Jeannie, which no one believes she only drinks one martini.
She never is. Yeah, it's almost laughable that she's one martini Jeannie because it's never. It's like one martini, two martini.
Yeah, we give her
three
a hard time about that.
And her husband's the official babysitter of.
Yeah.
That's just
but we have. Yeah, every name I'm thinking of, I can't say.
So one of the things I love too, people don't realize, but like being on the other side of the fence, right? When you're in crew world and you're on the parade, especially the Wild Rowdy Parade, which is about ready to occur on the 31st of January in 2026. The crowd gets wild. Like you can't get too close to the crowd or they will literally grab you. They will rip stuff off your body. Like my pin came up missing and I don't know if someone took it off or I lost it.
Yeah.
But literally people will grab you.
Yes.
And so our crew has done a phenomenal job at security and really watching out for especially our women.
Yes.
In the parade to make sure that they're okay. They're not being everything from groped to grabbed, right?
When I was on Charlotte de Berry, we had one of the ladies that went very close to the crowd, and I almost felt sorry for the guy. The guy in the crowd just kind of reached out to grab her arm to tap on her to get her attention to get a bead. And I think 5 of our security guys were right on him. And he was like, "I'm not trying to hurt her. I'm not trying to hurt her."
Well, you don't realize, you're moving and you have to keep up with the float. And it's very easy for someone to like grab your arm and twist it or like hurt you unintentionally.
Yeah.
And so that's why they're that way because, and plus you add alcohol and people do things.
The security teams are amazing at what they do. They have to watch that you're not getting too close to the crowd or too close to the float because that's a dangerous thing too.
Correct, yeah.
And, or falling back. And,
yeah,
they're out there constantly. When you're walking, you're always getting told by the security guys, "Get away there, go this way, slow down, go faster."
Yeah.
So
I know I find myself either way in the back and then I'm running to catch up or I'm too far ahead.
Yeah.
Trying to stay right in the middle. It's easy to lose track of where you're at, especially if you're walking and you're not right.
And the crowd is just amazing. You can't believe it until you're there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people, I've been there and watch the parades and it sounds like the crowd's really loud to you, but when you're on a float and you just see the sea of faces and that noise from there, it's overwhelming.
Yeah. So if you haven't learned the trick and you're in the audience and you're looking to get beads, make eye contact with the people on the float and they'll make sure you get the beads.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of people that'll go, "Hey, you, I see you," like that,
specifically looking at you. So what surprises most people when they learn what crew life is really like? What do you think surprises people I have a couple of thoughts and
Yeah.
ideas, but if someone asked you that question, Shelley, what would you think?
Well, I don't think they realize how tiring it is for us being in a float parade.
Yeah,
Because like you said earlier, I mean,
it's an all-day
we're
thing.
gonna be there in staging probably 2 hours before the scheduled start of a parade, and it's going to be, like, all day long, it feels like, and so, usually for myself, at the end of a parade, I just wanna go home, you
Mhm.
know? But, yeah, it's very exhausting.
I would say one of the things that surprises people about crew life is how social you become with the members and how literally you end up becoming friends with a lot of these people and you like them, which is why I think it's super important to be on the right crew.
Yes.
Not that there was anything wrong with the last crew I was on. I still love them to
Yeah.
pieces. But sometimes you just get a different vibe in different crews.
Oh, yeah.
And let's not forget, like a lot of crews have certain stereotypes,
Yeah,
right? So
that's
they'll
true.
say, "Oh, everybody," and so I'll just put it out there, right? With costs, everybody says, "Oh, they're all swingers."
Oh,
No,
yeah.
they're
Yeah,
not.
we have that horrible reputation.
Yeah, they're not. Like they think we're swinging naked from the rafters, like at
Yes.
every party or social or
Yes.
meeting. Like literally, that's how they'll make
Yeah.
it sound. So, my friend that brought me into Brigadoon, I think she was a little hesitant, but we've been bringing her around. She's been hanging out with us, so I think she's got a different. She's
Yeah.
able to form her own opinion, right?
Well, yeah, and I think that has to do with I mean, I know that one of the ladies in our crew will refer to us as a crewmily instead
Mhm.
of family, and it's like that. I mean, we will pitch in and help. I mean, I know there's been times when somebody will just go on Facebook and say, "Hey, I'm moving and last minute and I got something here
Yes.
really big and heavy." And you've got a whole bunch of people immediately going, "Oh, we're there."
Yeah.
And any kind of times that we have where someone needs help, you're gonna find someone that's,
Yeah.
"Hey, I have a leak in my house. Who do you know as a plumber?"
All the time.
All the recommendations, it's there. The support for one another is always there. But there is differences in each crew,
Right.
definitely. And, sometimes it's as simple as what you wanna wear.
Right.
Do you wanna wear a kilt or not?
Yes.
Or
Do you
do
want to
you
dress
yeah.
steampunk or not?
Yeah, I mean, steampunk. I mean, we have crews we have a lot of pirate crews, definitely. Some of them are very specific about what they wear, the style of outfit
Yeah.
they wear. Some of them you can wear whatever you want to
Well, I
it.
think, and isn't Grace O'Malley like formal wear? Like they have the big
Yeah,
gowns. So I mean, there's a
yeah,
lot of different crews that have different themes.
yeah. And Crew of Augustina used to have different. That was the same outfit but different colors depending on how many years you had been in the crew.
Oh, that's cool. That's
So
neat.
very different on that. But I mean, and obviously us with our steampunk, and then we have Nomad Nation with that's a totally different look that comes out, the dystopian
Yeah.
future look.
Well,
So
and some people, like, let's say you're not a super social person, right? Or you don't like to do a lot of stuff. You just want to do like the bare minimum, and that's
oh
like
yeah,
the Gasparilla and the crew life is not going to be part of your life. Our crew might not be a good match for
yeah,
you because I
yeah,
think it's very much become a part of my
oh
life and
yeah,
who I hang out with, and
definitely.
I like the people. Like the vibe is really
Oh
good,
yeah.
really really
Well,
good.
we're one of we may be the only crew. I know we're one of the few crews that has an actual clubhouse
Yes,
where we have an older home that belonged to our admiral's grandfather that we kind of just hang out at that house. And so we meet on Sundays and do potluck suppers and play cards
yeah.
together.
Which I've
So,
yet to come for cards. I'm planning to come, but you guys will probably play something I don't know how to play, so then I got to figure it out.
oh, we teach everybody.
Okay.
We play Tripoli, and it's really simple. So
Plus Sunday, like sometimes my weeks are so long, like Sunday
yeah,
is my only day to like. It'd be different if I lived down the street, but I don't.
yeah. But we also have had no, probably not this year because I don't know. When the Bucks are playing in the Super Bowl, we have a big, huge tent behind that clubhouse,
Yeah.
and we have had Super Bowl parties back there. We've done Halloween parties back there. Just different things.
So some of the, I'll mention one of the things that I think is super fun, really crazy, cool, quirky little thing about our crew, the DMFA award.
Oh yeah,
or DAMFA?
I have been a winner of the DMFA award.
So what did you do to earn that? And then we'll talk about what that stands for on another day. You have to ask me. That's a good in-person conversation piece.
Yeah. You have to have been really imbibing quite a bit at the parade in order to win that.
How'd you earn your award?
I earned mine by falling backwards down the stairs of the float and not being able to get myself up.
Oh, boy.
I had to have help.
Well, one Jeannie Martini, she's won multiple.
Yeah.
The last one was from rolling downhill, right? Or something like that. Yeah.
She fell down a hill in staging. So we've had Dave the Blaze has won like 4 times, I think. And I think the last time he won, it took like 3 people to get him on our little bus to go home after parade.
I have to tell you, yes, most people are drinking.
Yes.
And that one of the questions, like Danielle said, is, do I have to drink? I'm not really a drinker. Do I have to drink to be part of the crew? And I would say no. Yeah, the answer is no. We have a lot of fun when we do, but it's an option to not drink.
Yeah.
Would you say it's harder to get into a crew or stay on one?
I think it's probably harder to stay on the crew.
Would you?
I
would say get in.
You can try out different crews, and certainly we have on website Intercrew Council, and all the crews that are in the Intercrew Council, they'll have all the pages up, and you can look on there and check out, like, do you want to go Celtic, or do you want different, whatever type of theme you think you want to get into. You can find out details about it.
If you're thinking about this and you're thinking, hey, I might want to join Crew Life or get involved with a crew, that the Intercrew Council is a great way, because they post all the socials, right? For the different crews.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a great way to do it. Show up at the socials. They do a multitude of things. And just see if you gel with the people and if you like them and if you like their vibe.
Yeah. I mean, when I was in Charlotte to Berry, we'd have our once-a-month meetings where you had the board. So you'd go to the once-a-month meeting, and people would go in there, and you have this, the president makes a presentation, the treasurer has to make a presentation. It could get kind of boring.
Yeah. We don't have any of that.
At that point, we added, instead of just showing up for the meeting at 7, it was show up ahead of time at 6 for your social hour.
Yeah.
And with Crew of Sea Saviors, we show up for the social hour, and it pretty much extends the whole time. We kind of like stop for about 10 minutes while our captain just goes over the points he needs to get out, and then we're back to socializing.
You know what I like about Billy is he is quick to the point. He's direct.
Yeah.
Like him, not like him. I love the fact that he's so direct.
Oh, yeah.
And, just it's like, hey, do this, don't do that. This is the way it is, period.
Yep.
But he's a super likable guy.
He is.
He really is.
He really is.
And people like him and they respect him.
I like him a lot. He's very to the point. I have been yelled at meetings if I'm running my mouth.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty regular. I remember you getting yelled at.
It's like, Shelly, hush.
Shut up, Shelly, I'm talking.
Shut up, Shelly, I'm talking.
Or it's Jeannie. It's usually you or Jeannie. One of the two of you is in trouble.
So,
but he's so fun the way he does it.
He is.
He's just like, you guys, you haven't talked to each other all week, and now you want to take my time to talk to each other.
He's like, I just need 10 minutes, and then you can go back to it.
Yeah. I think it's fun though. Like, all the people really like each other, and I know for sure some of the people in the crew I was in, they're going to probably follow, because they just, your vibe attracts your tribe, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what they say. So when you think about being part of a crew, what does that mean to you personally? Someone says, hey, why do you want to be in the crew? Why do you want to keep doing this year after year after year?
Well, I will say that originally it was the whole being in a parade,
Right.
That drew me to it. I wanted to do that, and, but I stay in it because of all the activities that we do with one another. This last month was, our last month was the Boys and Girls Club was our charity. And this one is probably the nearest and dearest to my heart personally. And we go and we collect little gadget things and stuff. They have a box where the kids who's been the student of the week gets to pick an award out of the box. And so
Yes.
we buy all these little trinkets and stuff, and we take it to them and go to the Boys and Girls Club to deliver it, which is just, those kids just light up when they see all the stuff. And the director is so kind and will work with us so that they pick the student of the week in front of us, and the kids get to pick out what they want.
There was a small group of us that went to that, right? I think I saw
Yeah.
you were part of that. I was gone, but I would
Yeah.
definitely love to do that.
Yeah, I've done that 4 years. I've done that, and I will move my schedule to do that every
I love
time
that.
because those kids are so excited to see us. And this last time when we went, it was great. I felt really welcomed by the children, and we came in and I heard several of them go, "Oh, they've been here before," because we go in garb.
So do they like the steampunk garb? Or are any of them like, hey, I want this, I want that? Any
No,
of them like the pins?
they're very curious about it. It's hard to it used to be hard to explain to them because, if I'm explaining the steampunk to someone else, I'm an adult. I'm talking Jules Verne and Victorian, and 10-year-olds have no idea what that is.
Right.
So now we have different ways of explaining it to the kids.
What do you mean? That's not a Fortnite skin.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. One of the coolest things about our crew is anything we're doing, we're going to make it fun.
Yeah.
So, for example, at the beginning of the year, it was back to school. Who were we partnering with to raise back to school supplies and bring all that stuff?
Yeah,
Remember who it was?
I don't
One of the
remember
local
which. It
schools,
was
I
one of the
think.
local schools. It was
Anyway.
probably Man, because we have a couple
Okay.
teachers at Man.
So we weren't fundraising, but we were collecting school supplies for kids that
Yeah.
needed it. And so not only did all of our crew people, I mean, there was a lot of stuff there. I brought a lot of stuff. So many people brought a lot of stuff. But what I loved was they decided they're going to partner up and make it like a schoolgirl theme, right? So all
Yeah.
the girls like dressed up in schoolgirl. I put my hair in pigtails, which was so cute. I don't know when I've ever done that last.
Mhm.
And it was just so, like, Tanya wore her Girl Scout cookie outfit. It was just so adorable.
Yeah.
The ideas that people come up with.
Oh,
No
yeah.
one's the
We had,
same.
and that we've done that back to school thing several years. And one year, one of the guys in the crew dressed up as the lunch lady. It was hysterical costume. Really
One of the other
funny.
things we do that is absolutely hilarious, and I have to mention this because, Hayden and I came over kind of a package deal when we came to COS. And anybody that knows him, like, he says, "Oh, I'm not bougie," but we're like, "Oh, Hayden, you're so bougie.
yeah.
Like, you're definitely bougie." He dresses to the nine. He looks amazing. He puts a lot of
Yeah.
thought and work and effort into every costume he does. Like, we did the Polar Express thing, and he dressed as the conductor. And I was like, he's so perfect, like the
Yeah.
way he's dressing. But one of the events you guys do every year is the Trailer Trash Bash.
Oh, yeah. That's one of our favorite events. And
So Hayden,
yeah.
I was like, all right, Hayden, what do you think? We're going to do the Trailer Trash Bash? He goes, no way. I don't even have anything to wear.
Oh, no. Trailer trash is so easy. And yeah, that's.
We're going to get him to do it next year.
I wear the same thing every year. I mean, a lot of the girls will come on and they'll have fake pregnant bellies and, all kinds of cigarettes hanging out the side of their mouth at it. I have a muumuu, and I have curlers in my hair, and I have a little wraparound thing that goes over the curlers that all belong to my grandmother.
Oh, that's
I wear
funny.
all of that.
Yeah, Tanya had her hair wrapped in cans.
Yes.
It's,
Yeah.
it's goofy little silly stuff like that, but it's so much
Yeah,
fun.
it is. It's a lot of fun. We've done a Pimps and Hoes party. Those can get to be some crazy costumes.
Only our crew does, like,
yeah.
we're known as the wild group. Like,
We
we
are.
are the wild crew, which
Well,
is probably why I like
if
you
there's
guys.
a way of dressing up and doing costumes, Cos will
We're
do
going to
it.
figure it out. That's what I like. I love the craziness. It's just so much fun. I would be amiss if I didn't sort of wrap up the show or talk about the economic impact that that Gasparilla has on Tampa and period, just the impact.
Yeah.
I mean, third largest parade in the country, we're bringing people to the area.
Yeah.
And Rob, you looked up some of those stats, right, for Tampa Bay and the economic impact and tourism effect that it has on it?
Yeah, so Gasparilla is Tampa's premier annual tradition. It brings in roughly between 300,000 to over 1 million visitors annually and boosts the local economy by an average of $40 million per year. This is some
$40 million
substantial numbers.
is a lot of money to bring to our city.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. And
It really is.
it's going to get bigger and bigger. You know, Tampa is not a small town anymore like it was when I was a kid, back when they did the coins and the shell casing.
Yeah.
That's why they probably aren't allowed to do it anymore. And then I remember they had reduced that, and then it was only Ye Mystic Crew of Gasparilla that did it. And now I don't think any of them do it, right? They don't do the casings with this. They don't think any of them do it.
Yeah. No, I don't think
Someone
so.
probably got hurt and tried to sue
seems
the
like a
city.
lawsuit.
And yeah, I'm sure.
In today's day and age.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the craziest things we've ever seen on the parade route and or heard about, because there's some crazy stuff that happens. And I don't think a lot of people realize, but a lot of the budget for any crew is insurance. And you were on the board for Charlotte to Berry, and I know those insurance costs have significantly hiked over
Every
the
year,
years and the
that was more and
requirements.
more.
Yeah.
And, all the crew members are paying dues, so that's how we get our budget. And then we also all do fundraisers to cover our costs.
Mhm.
And it is a lot of cost. And definitely the insurance is the biggest thing. We may all sign waivers on, that we're not going to sue, but there's still
There's people that try.
people that'll try, definitely.
Yeah.
And there are people that have gotten hurt, definitely, during, we've had people fall off of the tops of floats or get hurt when they're up high. They've gotten new regulations on how tall a float can be.
Yeah.
And if you're have an upstairs to your float, having safety railings on there.
Yes.
So there's
Brigadoon
quite a
had
bit.
that third layer upper tier, and I could tell you, Tracy and I were a lot of times on the top,
Mhm.
and you're not clearing the traffic lights. You have
Yeah.
to literally duck, and so it's very easy to get caught up in the moment and not be paying attention. You get whacked in the head with a traffic light, you're going to feel that.
You're going to feel it. Well, even a tree, even the tree branches.
Yeah.
People don't realize how big traffic lights are either.
No,
Because
they're
you're
huge.
so
They're
far.
huge.
You're,
Yeah.
they're huge.
Yeah.
You take a picture of that
Yeah.
next to your head, the traffic light's this big and your head's this small. It's a real thing.
It's the perspective thing. When you're looking
Yes.
up at something, it looks smaller,
And it really isn't.
Yeah. Well, we have an small upper level on the cost float, but you're not allowed to stand up there. If you go up there, you have to sit. There's a bench to sit on, and you're supposed to be sitting. You're not supposed to be standing.
But even that's lower. That's nowhere near the height.
No, it's
of
not as tall as
Brigadoons.
some of them
Yeah,
are.
Brigadoons
No.
is super tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it was last year or the year before, there was a couple people that got hurt really bad, not on our crew, on some
Yeah.
different ones, but one of them, somehow someone pulled the light back and it like snapped forward and knocked someone off the float, and she broke like every bone in her body.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, she's had a long recovery.
yeah, there's some serious stuff that goes, you're on a moving float
Yeah.
and you're adding alcohol and mayhem, you're
Yeah.
you have to really watch what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I have to say our guys are incredible.
Yeah.
The way they help women and everybody often and up the float to make sure no one gets hurt.
Yeah.
They've done an incredible job, really.
I mean,
protecting us.
it's really easy. I know. Just we have hooks on the floats to hold our beads, and then you have to unsnap that and get the bead on your arm and separate. There's a little strap around them, and you have to take that little strap off and to throw your beads. And if you're concentrating on that, and the float stops suddenly, you're flying.
Yeah.
really
Yep.
quick.
Which it can. Anything can happen.
It's so easy to fall while you're riding the float, and just doing normal stuff on it.
So the main parade, which is this Saturday, the 31st, stretches for more than 5 miles. So where do they officially start? It's not Beta Bay. They do staging Beta Bay, isn't it?
I think it's around Beta Bay.
It's really far south and goes all the way up to
all
the
the way
Children's
up.
Museum.
No, I don't know how many times I have been on a float, and when we get to Ashley, we're out of beads. We've
Yes.
thrown them all. And we still have a lot of people when we're going over Ashley.
Yeah.
And, they're always warning us as we're going across the Platte Street Bridge, don't throw because it's going to get in the water.
Yeah.
And we don't, we really try not to do that. But there's lots and lots of boats
Yes.
that want those beads. And the aquarium actually has divers out there
Yes.
afterwards cleaning up the bay.
All the things that you don't see that go into Gasparilla, that's a very big one. People that dive and go get all the beads.
Yeah.
Some of them have gotten more eco-friendly, but even so, it's still a plastic bead in the bay, which we don't want.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts as we ramp up for Gasparilla this coming Saturday?
Yeah. Oh, just, have fun. Put a sign out there that says costs will pummel you with beads.
I was thinking we should be ordering little flags that we pass out in advance. And if people want them, they can come get them.
Yeah.
Got so many fun ideas.
I attended a parade one year. I couldn't be in the parade. And I had little poster boards. One side, KBR, other side costs. All the initials for all the different pages, just flip them around.
Yeah.
And I had beads up to my nose.
Yep. So if you want to collect beads, have the name of the cruise or at least a couple. If you know people in the crew, definitely bring that because they will make sure everybody on the crew gets you some beads.
Yep. And afterwards, if you don't want to keep those beads, just contact costs. We'll take them and recycle them for the following year.
Yep. We do a buyback on them, right? Or we have a drink ticket or something.
We have
get the beads.
There's usually one monthly social where we do the buyback, and the bar where we go for that restaurant, they will give you a ticket for a free drink.
So I have an idea because nobody wants the broken beads back, right? Nobody wants them. I think we should do a collection for the broken beads and then do an art something or other where you have to make some art out of the beads. Wouldn't that be cool? Instead of seeing them in the trash and the landmines,
broken beads. I've done things with broken beads.
Make a piece of art. Yeah, you can dollop anything.
Yeah, you put them on your wreaths and broken beads. They can be glued back together with some very strong glue even to be thrown again.
Yeah, I think we should totally do that. We should do a collection even on the broken beads and do some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Whether we redecorate costumes or make art or whatever it is out of them.
Yep.
All right. Did you take your little guy, Rob, to the children's parade? Are you going to take him one year?
So I didn't take him. Maddie invited us to bring him next year, though. So we're kind of hesitant to get him out there. He's still 2. He's still
3
very,
next year.
He'll be 3. He'll be a little bit bigger. So we've been kind of hesitant to get him out into that because a lot of people don't realize how packed it is there.
Oh yeah,
it is significantly deep. It is shoulder
early.
to shoulder, 12, 13 rows back. It is.
Oh yeah.
So it's interesting, Shelley. You were saying around past the Platte Street Bridge, we're out of beads. Yes, a lot of the crews are out of beads. However, I think if you want to find a great spot, go in the beginning or the end of the parade.
Yeah.
I would pick the end because it's always less crowded.
It is.
But what happens is the crews that have beads left, they're throwing you all of their beads because they don't want to carry any of them back.
Nobody wants to have leftover beads on the float.
Yeah.
We do recommend. I mean, I will say that our meeting before a parade, Bill is always telling people, remember, you still need beads then.
Yes.
And he's always reminding people, you don't have to give every single person a bead because there are tons of floats. I mean, usually there's over 100 floats.
Yes.
So
what about those specialty beads? I know when a lot of people think about beads, they think about the small, the little, but there are some floats out there that give away the exclusive, ornament size beads.
Well, what you don't realize is every crew pretty much buys their own beads.
Right, yeah.
So ours is one of the few that it's part of what we do. They supply the beads are all set up.
Yeah.
But most of the crews, I would say 90% of them, as a member, you're buying your own beads to give out.
Yeah.
So I actually went to the bead store yesterday and bought some bigger beads for Gasparilla. Specifically, because I love giving away the big ones. I love seeing people's face light up.
So there's a question, I guess. What is the thing that somebody from the audience has done that has been so impressive or has really driven you to the next level to give them that nice size bead? What is that one thing for you? What was the nice moment?
Well,
most of the guys, it's
Well, I would say
Exposing
the
some
guys,
female
they're
bird.
going to be looking at those girls. And yeah. Don't show, but definitely some cleavage there. You know? But, and I'm going to say, I'm going to be awful because I'm going to pick that quiet older lady standing there who has guys jumping over her head.
Yes.
Like that.
Because that's what I would get all the time when I would go. I mean, college guys jump over my head because I'm shorter.
Yeah.
And grab
I'm going to
it.
pick the hot dad in the
Yeah.
crowd. That's who I'm going to give my big beads to.
It is.
I should just wear-
Everybody's something
Surprise,
different.
surprise.
I love hot dads. Yeah.
But I will say when I'm on the float and I'm throwing from the float, that I'll fall for the ones that have a basket up there. Can you get the bead
Do
in
you?
this basket?
I like that one.
That's those
clever.
are always fun.
That's a clever. Obviously, everybody knows the low hanging fruit. Like show some body parts.
Yeah.
Get some nice beads. I was looking for that. Like, is there a moment because both of you've spent a lot of time on floats.
Yeah.
Between both of you. So I was trying to get a memory, maybe like where somebody did something that was just, I don't know, unusual.
I have one for you for last year. This is one I'll never forget. And sometimes I have beads left on me. Rare. We try to get rid of all of them, but I had beads even after the last parade. I had beads on me. We were done, like at the no more throw, and I still had beads on me. But last year, I remember we were done. We were walking back to our car or somewhere, and there was two kids, one little girl, one little boy that was younger, and it had to be the grandparents. They were a little bit older. I don't think they were parents' age. I think they were grandparents. And the little girl was walking, and yes, the parade was over because we were walking. We were done. This little girl's like having a meltdown. She's crying. She's going, "We got to hurry up. The parade is over." She's like freaking out, like about ready to start crying. And I go up to her and I said, "No, the parade's not over. It just started. Here you go." And we ended up putting beads on her neck. And my daughter had some she didn't want to part with. She gave her those. And so to see that little girl light up, I was so glad I had beads left.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are the moments I think that really drive it, right?
Yeah. And the Veterans Day
Yeah.
parade, our crew does that. How old was that one gentleman on the float with us? He was
He was 90.
100. Yeah, he was almost
in
100.
his 90s.
Wow.
Yeah, we've done that. We do that parade a lot, and it's a very good parade to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Billy Buck was like, "Girls, don't break him. He's 95."
I'm sure he wouldn't
Fun
complain.
stuff. I mean,
Oh,
the ones-
no. We had one of our younger ladies sit on his lap, and he was very happy.
Yeah.
I'd venture to say so.
The ones that are screaming and having a good time and smiling, those are going to be the ones I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like I'm always going to give those guys.
Yeah.
beads.
If I have somebody, a lot of people will point to you trying to get your eye contact, and I'm terrible aim, but every once in a while I will actually throw it and they'll catch it. And I don't know who's more thrilled, them or me, because I actually made it to them.
See, I'm usually I walk the last parade, the whole thing, but normally I ride on the float and I'm pretty accurate, like getting them to them, and I throw them right to them, and it's fun. And then what's cool is like a lot of times I'll see people I know. The funny part is like last time I had on a purple wig, which I never wear. And then Fox 13 had featured us. I didn't recognize myself in the replay. I was like, "Oh wait, I think that's me." So people a lot of times won't recognize you if you're too garbed up, but the ones that do recognize me, they're trying to get my attention. I'm always I'll save my bigger beads for them, for the people I know.
Yeah.
But sometimes the float's just moving and you just can't make it happen.
And I can't. If somebody's yelling at me from the side, I'm not ignoring you. I just
can't see them.
hear you.
And you can't hear them and you can't see
No, I
them, legitimately.
know. Yeah.
It's a concoction of inebriation, too many people, crowded space.
It's a lot.
A lot
we have
of excitement.
music playing on our float,
Oh,
and
it's
very loud music.
All of them. You have
you know.
music from the neighboring floats.
Yeah.
You don't realize how loud it is from the crowd, the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's you can't see or hear anything.
Yeah.
Is there anything else outside that Cass does that it's outside of beads? Do you guys throw anything else out into the crowd? T-shirts?
Well, we
apparel?
have people who have thrown other things.
Yeah.
I tend to for night parade, I have little rubbery flashy rings.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have some light up things they'll throw during the night parade.
That's what we brought last year. We brought glow stuff and gave away those rings that
And
glow.
I know this children's parade, there was a couple of people that were throwing candy
Yeah.
too.
Candy.
It's neat. I think the coins, I'm going to have to go back to that. I'm going to have to buy a bag of coins, I
Yeah.
think, for next parade and
Yeah.
give those away because I think they're just so cool. All right. Any other final questions before we wrap up our Gasparilla
I
episode?
don't think so. No.
All right. Well, this is Tampa Home Talk, but this is one of our one-off shows, and we're very glad to highlight Gasparilla. It's one of the best, most fun times in Tampa Bay, in my opinion, if you ask me. And of course, we'll be back another time, another place with another episode of Tampa Home Talk. I'll bring you all that great market data that you're looking for. So be on the lookout for that. We're about the time where we start wrapping up all of the 2025 numbers. So I'll tell you how the real estate market has shaped up as it relates to 2025. We've had some market changes, and I'll bring you all of that and more on a future edition of Tampa Home Talk. Remember, like, subscribe, share our page, and love where you live, or we're going to fix it. Welcome home.